Hello friends, and welcome to the Gamer Down and Rift Weekly Review for October 9th, 2011. Yeah, well, you can see I finally got my Ancient Merdantics. I tell you, I closed thousands of water rifts during the invasions, during that world event, and nothing, And about 5 runs of Hammernail Chronicles, and I finally got it. So, if you've been keeping up with my channel, you know that I was after that thing. And it was a struggle, I was after it for so long. But, the live servers, they're having quite a bit of bugs, as you see, even the Chronicles are all dicked up. And I don't know what exactly they did. They introduced a bunch of hot fixes this week, which have totally screwed a lot of people over. They are crashing and crashing and crashing. So, Tryon, I should say, is working on this stuff. And they're throwing out hot fixes right and left. But the reason we're here, the Ember Isles, they finally opened it up on the PTS. And I can now officially show it. I didn't want to show it beforehand because I didn't, know how Tryon was going to react to it, You could have snuck into the Ember Isles and you could have looked around, and some people did. And, anyway. You can see that the entrance is right below the bridge to Sanctum if you're a Guardian. Hello. If you are a Defiant of Defiant Persuasion, it says it is west of Meridian. You can see right in my chat log right there. It tells you on the chat log right there. You can just pause the video if you want to go look at it. It says that the Defiant entrance is west of Meridian on top of a hill. I'm sure it'd be easy enough to find. You'll see a big old couple of stone pillars. Now, I want to say that I'm totally blown away. I'm totally blown away by the Ember Isles. I've been down on Tryon, a lot, quite a bit, but they've thoroughly impressed me with this. I've rode through the Ember Isles a few times, and this is my first little run right here. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to cruise through here. Kill a couple of things, nothing big. We're going to look at a few of the quests. And I'll probably do a few of the quests for, next weekly review and stuff, just to check them out. This is a work in progress, so anything is possible to change. But, they always say that, just to cover their asses a little bit. We all know that usually what you see on the PTS is usually what you get on the live servers. So as you see, they have put an awful lot of work into this. They've went out of their way and they've actually created new models for the first time I can recollect. They finally have put in some new mob models and some new mob gear. As you see, some of the mobs are wearing these tribal kind of headdresses and things. That seems to be the theme here. It seems like this society is some sort of islander tribal society. Guess think the trolls in WoW, except they're dwarvish and humanoid. That is one thing. They did not make any new human models or new models for that stuff. The only models they made were a few mobs, but they're impressive, and we're going to check them out. Now I have to say, if Tryon is anything, they are excellent strategists. They always release some really good content, right at subscription time, for most people. And they also are releasing this Ember Isles, and they're obviously going over the top here. They're obviously doing everything they can, and I'll tell you why. Star Wars The Old Republic. This is their answer to Star Wars The Old Republic. Is a new PvE area. And there's been this really strong push to make this a PvP area, and you guys can just go to hell. You really can. I've used to PvP. I understand PvP, but these games like WoW and Rift, they are PvE games. They really are PvE games. And really, I think that me and most every other PvEer out there, We really have had quite enough. Just done with the PvP affecting the PvE. And I mean, my character now on the live servers, my warrior, I'm struggling to effing do the Hammernail Chronicles when I was just breezing through them before. Anyway, back to the Ember Isles. As you see, there are lots of quests to do. So you will actually be able to move your planar experience bar a little bit. They've nerfed the EXP in Invasions. They nerfed the EXP on just numerous things lately, trying to stunt people from doing their planar advancement, alternate advancement system. Tryon, that's the thing. It's like they add something really badass, and then they do something really shitty. What they did recently, just last week, is they nerfed the experience for all invasions. They nerfed the experience in a lot of areas where people were grinding, their alternate advancement system. They put forward 40 levels where you have to gain more EXP than you would from 1 to 50, And to max out your alternate advancement, the first tier, it's 40 levels, and you have to gain more EXP than you would from going from 1 to 50, so if you wanted to max it out. Instead of encouraging people to go do invasions, this game's called Rift, and they haven't really did crap with rifts to encourage people to do rifts since the game started, really. A couple of world events, and they threw some mounts on some rifts, and people were rifting like crazy. And once those were over, there's absolutely no reason. So people, got this alternate advancement system. They're like, hey, this is awesome. We can finally rift now. Nope. So you see, here's some of the new models here. Now, I must admit, these are pretty badass. I have to give credit where credit is due. I mean, that's just too awesome, isn't it? This is an excellent model with excellent animations, and it shows what Tryon can do. It's just they don't do it. I don't know why they don't put more models into this game. They obviously have the ability to make some really cool stuff, but for some reason they decide not to devote resources to creating new models. I mean, they've recycled models. I mean, there's even recycled models all over Ember Isles, of course, but there's only about 3 or 4 new models here. But still, they have recycled and recycled and recycled models so much that most people are, pretty sick of it, which leads to my complaining about Tryon all the time. There's all these little things, like that was, something that was always been very bothersome for me personally since I started Rift 7 months ago. What bothered me so much was just the duplication, the copying of so many models. I mean, you start off in the level 1 zone, and you're fighting the same crap you're fighting in the level 50 zones. And there's only about 4 models for each, faction, class, like the Endless Citadel, all the different factions and things like that. The LFR. There's only 4 models of each one, and they've all been recycled ad nauseum, But here on the Ember Isles, they've at least, they've kind of tried to get away from things. There's obviously some new models here, so they've obviously heard the complaints about that. I mean, was not only my complaint, it's the complaint of so many people. I mean, just the lack of models. From mobs to gear, you name it. There's a definite lack. And here, you can see this is Princess Theodra from Maraudin from WoW. Well, you see where they got their inspiration from. But, I must admit, the Ember Isles, they do look really good. It has a really good atmosphere to it, and it's finally an area with some green in it besides Moonshade Highlands. It's really one of the only other areas that actually has that eye appeal to it. Silverwood's alright, but this place really pops. They've obviously did all they could in this patch. This is patch 1.6. This is when this is going to be coming out. And this is coming out right when the early access begins for Star Wars The Old Republic. So people are going to be given a choice, really. I mean, yeah, of course you can play 2 MMOs at the same time, but who can? You know, I mean, who really can? You know, most people devote all their time to one MMO. And it's very difficult to, you know, keep involved with 2 or 3 or 4, you know. And there's been times I've had subscriptions to and upwards of like 5 MMOs, you know, and you know, it would always be like I would be playing one, and the others would be subscribed to them, and I would maybe log in once a month or something. You know, it's just a friggin' waste, and that's what most people do, you know. All I have to say is, you know, don't be tricked. You know, don't be tricked into subbing for 6 months, for a year in advance. You know, it's never a value. You know, you think it's going to be a value. You think that you're getting a value, but it just never, ever works out. You know, I mean, they're never going to put out that much content, you know, to where you're going to get your money's worth. You know, there's always going to be a lull at some point, you know, where you don't have anything to do, you know. And that's a good time to go check out other MMOs, of course, you know. So as you see, we started off in the Guardian area here, and we're slowly making our way over to the Defiant area. As you see, this Atia, this looks like to be where the Defiance will be starting from the Ember Isles. So the Guardians are on one side, and the Defiants are on the other side. This is the home of the Kalari, of course. You know, this one of the Defiant races. So they're going to be the dominant, you know, theme here. And excuse me, they are like the Islanders. They are like the Samoan guys. And as you see, they are all level 52. So, you know, of course, you're going to want to think twice about crashing the city. And all of the mobs on the Ember Isles are level 52, from what I've seen. I haven't really seen anything higher or lower. So everything's about level 52. I imagine that the rifts, as you see, there are rifts around. So I imagine the rifts may be a little bit higher level than the level 50 zones. This really is like the first true level 50 zone. You think about it, you know, Stillmore, Iron Pine Peaks, Shimmer Sand. You know, you think of those 3 places, and all of those places you level up in, you know. This is a true zone for level 50s. And here's another one of the brand new models that you can see here. One you haven't seen before. Well, at least I haven't seen it before, and I've been all over Rift. And this is another awesome model, and you can obviously see what Tryon is capable of. They're capable of some really cool stuff, and that's the thing about Tryon. You know, it's like you see so much potential. You know, you see this potential, and so many times they just blow it, and they just completely blow it. They have rifts. They have rifts all over Rift, and they don't use them. You know, they just let them rot. You know, they try to introduce things that people just aren't interested in. You know, like PvP rifts. And they sounded good on paper, and they're just not very fun. You know, because there's a major imbalance in Defiance versus Guardians. There's like a 5-to-1 ratio on almost every single server, you know, in favor of the Defiance. You know, nobody wants to be a Guardian for some reason. I don't know why. We're the good guys. But, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this has been a little look at the Ember Isles. I'm going to be doing a lot more with the Ember Isles, obviously. I'm going to probably go run through some of these quests so we can check them out. And this has been Dark Hostess for Rift Weekly Review for October 9th. And remember to subscribe and thumbs up videos. We're going to check out more Ember Isles and see all the cool new models. I might put together a video just showing all the new models, just so everybody can check out all the new models, you know, in one condensed, concise video. And as you see, there are quests all over the island too, so they've put a lot of work into this. We'll see how it turns out. It's still in the early stages, you know. It looks fairly complete, but we'll see. We'll check it out next week. Take care.